Alright, so in this video what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be unboxing this 150 count Prismacolor colored pencil set. So we'll go ahead and get it open and sort of see what all we have in here. And if you decide you do want to pick this up, I will leave some links to where you can pick this up. I picked this one up on dickblick.com. It was only like $90, and then after shipping and stuff is about $100. Sometimes you can find it on Amazon for around $110, $115 if they have it on sale. So it is a pretty big investment. What I would advise is, if you haven't used Prismacolor colored pencils before, just get you a small set, or you can even buy individual pencils. Like at Hobby Lobby, they sell them individually. It's more per pencil that way, but that way at least you can test them out and see if you like them or not before you buy something this big with 150 of them. I think when you buy individual pencils, like I have a white one here, I think they're around $2 a piece at Hobby Lobby if you buy just one by themselves. So what I did is I went and I tested them out. I bought just the one pencil. I think it was a blue, some color of blue, I can't remember. And I liked it. It worked pretty good. And then I went and bought a decent size set. I bought this set here. It's the 36 count colored pencils. I would advise, if you're really wanting to test them out quite a bit, I'd probably buy this set. And the reason is because it has a different variety of colors, and it has some of the skin tone colors like the peach and dark peach and stuff. And it has a pretty good assortment of different colors. That way you can really get a test for whatever you're trying to do. So I would start either with an individual pencil or a small set like this. There's also a smaller set. I believe this is the smallest set they make, the 12 colored pencils. You can also start with this too. It has your basic colors in there, your blues, greens, yellows, browns, white, black, purple, and all that. The only thing with this is if you're wanting to do skin tones and everything like that, I mean, you can technically do that with these colors, but it is easier when you have the peaches and everything else, especially if you're just starting out and wanting to learn how to do all that and use all those. I would recommend going with the 36 count of colored pencils to begin with if you want a full set. But I would definitely start with at least just one pencil or so. But we'll go ahead and get this thing open and check this out and see. It does show on the back, so we'll flip it over real quick. 150 different colors here. And what I liked about this is you can blend a lot of different colors, use black and white to make your grays and everything like that, but it makes your drawing process a lot easier and quicker when you already have a good starting point. So this has a lot of different grays in it, which I like a lot, because I use like the light grays a lot for like eyeballs, because the eye isn't purely white, it has some gray. I don't use a whole lot of different greens, but another thing I liked is it has several different colors for your skin tones. So like your peach, light peach, and then some of the like tan and all those. So it has a lot of different colors in here, and so that's the main reason I bought this set. So before this, I'd been using, like I said, I tested out some of the Prismacolors with the smaller sets, and I really like them. They work pretty good. There's a few things here and there, but most of the time you get pretty good pencils. Before that, I was using only just the Crayola colored pencils, and those work okay, but especially if you're wanting to make something super smooth, they're not the best for that. These are really good for making really smooth transitions. So we'll go ahead and get it open, and we'll see how it looks in here. Cut off this plastic wrap here. And and like I said, this is a pretty big investment. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend just getting a small set. And there's nothing wrong with using just the Crayola colored pencils or super cheap ones, especially when you're starting out, because you're just learning how to do like the blending and everything anyways. And if it's something that you just do on occasion, I probably wouldn't necessarily go with something this extravagant. I would just get a small set, or if there's certain colors that you use a lot, maybe try those out. Like I use a lot of black, so that's why I started buying some of the black Prismacolor pencils, and I like those a lot better. And the blue I was using a lot as well, so that's why I did that. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. This is pretty cool. This looks pretty nice. Sort of this lid pops up like this, and here on the lid, when you open it up, it has the Prismacolor Premium or Premier. That's pretty nice. Has all the different shades. All right, so we'll actually check out the colored pencils here. So it looks like we have most of sort of our yellows, oranges, tans, purple, pink, and then skin tones for the most part here. Let's check these out here. Got pink rose, blush pink, deco pink, deco peach, light peach, peach beige, and seashell pink, salmon pink, beige, regular peach, beige rose, argyle rose, and a bunch of different ones. But that's one of the big things I wanted, because especially when you're doing like skin tones, you don't really want any, like, you want it sort of smooth for the most part, because our faces are smooth, but yet you want a little bit of texture. So that's why I really like the Prismacolor like skin tones for like the peach and stuff, because you really don't want any like sharp lines unless that's what you're going for. But that's why I wanted more variety of these, because with the Crayola ones, they tend to be a little bit more hard on the core part where it has the pigment or whatever. If I can get it, the tip right there, the core inside. On the Crayola ones that are a little more hard, so they tend to make, even if you're shading lightly, they tend to make really dark lines that, especially when you're doing faces and stuff, it's not something you want. So that's why I really like these. Take that out of there. Take this one out as well. So now we got some more purple, blues, light blues, turquoise, and greens. This one is yellow, cat or something. Let's see. I think this is indigo blue. I think this is the one that I use a lot, the indigo blue, the first one I got from the Prismacolor colored pencils. I'm excited to try out a lot of these different colors, because a lot of these, like, I'm not quite sure what they're going to look like. Obviously, they're supposed to look like the color on the colored pencil, but it's not always the case. All right. And we got one more layer here. some more greens and browns. And here's all our grays here, and some more like tan type colors. Then we have our silver, and metallic gold down here. And just our white and black colored pencils. I think that's the bottom layer. Yeah, that's the bottom. It comes in a pretty cool container here. I like how it's all set up like this. You can just stack them. So pretty cool here. 150 different colors. And the only thing, I mean, I do like that they're stacked and it comes in this case, so you can just sort of store it like that. But me, I like being able to see all of them at once, like all your different colors. So what I might do with these is I have a container for like my Crayola colored pencils, to where I had them divided up. And it's a clear container. You might have seen the video on my channel where I organized them. But it's a clear container, and it has little compartments separated for each color. And I like that because I can sort of see all the different colors at once, rather than here I have to unstack them all, and then it takes up a lot more space. So what I might end up doing with these and some of my other Prismacolors is just sort of getting another one of those plastic deals, so that I can have like all my reds, oranges, yellow, you know, all those different colors separated, so I can see them all together. I might end up doing that. I like this case though. It feels high quality. But I'm not sure. I don't like the idea of having to unstack these every time I'm searching for a color. So I'll show you real quick. So we'll scoot this to the side. There's not really much on the sides of them. I'll show you. So this little plastic container like this is has all my Crayola colored pencils. I have 2 of these because there's a bunch of different colors, so I'll probably have to get 2 more. I don't really like mixing my Prismacolor ones with my Crayola ones, just because if I'm looking for, there's so many in here already that I don't want to have to dig through all of them to find the Prismacolor over the Crayola ones. So I want to have them separated. But in here I have the white and black mixed together. Then these are my grays, red, pink, blue, and then these are sort of my tan, like skin color ones, like peach and tan and gold, which I know is not a skin color, but sort of those type of ones. And then just got little erasers and stuff in there. And then here's my other one. So it just has the purple, orange, yellow, brown, green, and green, because there's a lot of green. But I'll probably do something similar with my Prismacolor ones. That way I can sort of see all of them. And I know that, because a lot of times when I'm doing my drawings, what I'll do is that looks like a reddish pink. Okay, well there's red and pink here. So I know I just have to look through these, you know, rather than, which Prismacolor I could do this similar thing, just unstacking them. But the thing is with some of these Prismacolors, how they are organized in here. So like if I wanted a red, there's some red here, and looks like there's one here that might be, yeah, there's some red here as well. And then I think I've seen some more red on one of these other stacks here. Let me check that out. Well, even like blue, because like there's all these light blues here. There's blues over here. And then there's even more blue. A little bit of blue here, like turquoise type color. And then, well, maybe not. Well, there's a little bit of blue, and then the green, there's quite a bit of green there. but I just want to have them all organized. And the plastic container, I can just pop the lid and grab them, rather than here I have to unstack like 5 or 6 things just to find what I'm looking for. But I don't know, I feel like these keep them more secure because they're in the little divots in the plastic containers, rather than the big plastic deal. They're all stacked on top of each other. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I do enjoy this set. So with this set, like I said, I got it off dickblick.com. They have some pretty good deals on their website. So for this whole set, for 150 colored pencils, after shipping and everything, it was like right at $100. So that's not too bad. That's less than $1 a pencil. But you're still paying $100, which is a lot to invest for colored pencils. And it's a lot cheaper than when you buy them by themselves. Like I said, it is about $2 per pencil. I think it's $2.20 something. So at Hobby Lobby, when you buy just one pencil. But so with these, it's a lot cheaper per pencil. But there's a lot of these in here that I probably will never use, that will, like this bright orange here, like I might use it once or twice, but I don't see myself using that a whole bunch. Or certain shades of something may sit in there for years and I may never use it. So that's sort of the thing with having so many different colors, is yes, it's nice because the ones you do use, like the skin tones with the peach and everything, or the grays, stuff like that, I'll use all those quite a bit. That's the main reason I got this, was for those ones that I use a lot, like the skin tones, the grays. I do use quite a bit of the yellow and sort of light orange, and the light browns. I use quite a bit of those. So those I will use quite a bit, but a lot of these other sort of unusual colors, like this bright pink, I probably won't use a whole lot, maybe on occasion. But a lot of these, that's sort of the give and take. But in order to get a lot of these colors that I do use a lot and do need for a decent price too, as well, because if I was gonna go buy each one of these separately for $2 something a piece, that would add up pretty quick. So even, which I might end up having to do that eventually anyway, once I use all these down, like if I use this peach and use it completely and it's gone, which I do have another one, but I might have to just go buy that one specifically. And they also sell a Prismacolor 10 case that is similar to this one, but it's just all skin tone colors. So you can buy that as well. But that's probably what I'll end up having to do with some of these, is some of the ones that I use quite a bit, because I don't want to have to buy a whole another 150 count just to get, some of the ones that I use. But since this is my first big set, I figured I could use some of these and then fill in the ones that I use a lot. And I believe you can do that on dickblick.com. I believe you can order pretty much any color you want individually, but I don't remember exactly how much it was. I believe it's somewhere around $2 per pencil. So with these, let's see here. Let's do the math here. So I think it was right at $100 or $101. So we'll do $100 divided by 150 pencils. So that's about 67 cents per pencil, which is pretty cheap. But once again, you have to buy the big pack like this in order to get it for that cheap, per pencil. That's a lot better, 67 cents compared to like $2.20 something. And even the smaller sets, I think this was 37 or something, so after taxes close to $40 for 36 pencils, so that's over $1 per pencil. But if you don't need all these, you know, and then for the 12 pack, I believe this was around $15 for a 12 pack. So these pencils are very pricey compared to, you know, a 12 pack of Crayola colored pencils are probably like $3 maybe, $2 or $3 compared to $15. You know, and I've bought a 150 pack of the Crayola colored pencils. I think it was maybe $15 or $16, somewhere around there, for 150 colored pencils, compared to $100 is, you know, that's a big jump in price. But these are quality colored pencils, and they blend really well. And one of my biggest things that I like about the Prismacolor colored pencils is when you sharpen them, most of the time they don't break the core in the middle. You still have to be careful with them when you're sharpening them, but it's not near as bad. That's the biggest reason, well, the two biggest reasons. One is the cores don't break as easily when you're sharpening them, which is a big thing with like the Crayola ones, because a lot of the Crayola ones you'll sharpen and the cores will just break and break and break. There's been a few colored pencils with the Crayola where I've literally, from beginning to the end of the pencil sharpening, and it keeps breaking and breaking and breaking. So I basically go through a whole colored pencil and not even get to use it because it just keeps breaking. With these, I don't experience that very much. Every once in a while, I'll have one that will break off a few times, but it's not near as bad. It's very seldom compared to the Crayola ones. Also, with the blending, they're soft core colored pencils, so they blend pretty easily compared to the Crayola ones. You can still get the blend pretty good, but it's very inconsistent with which ones blend good and don't. Prismacolor ones are pretty good about, they're mostly consistent with being pretty good colored pencils. Every once in a while you'll get a bad one that doesn't blend very well or that breaks off, but that's very seldom compared to Crayola. It's like every other pencil. Compared to these, it's maybe 1 in 20, maybe 1 in 50, somewhere around there. But yeah, and once I started using Prismacolor colored pencils, it's hard to go back to the Crayola ones, honestly, because these blend so much better. The only thing that I did notice one of the things with Prismacolor is a lot of their colors are different than the Crayola ones. Like a peach in Prismacolor versus a peach in Crayola is two different colors. So that's another reason I wanted to switch to all Prismacolor, is so that it's consistent. Instead of mixing the two, I'll probably still use my Crayola colored pencils on some drawings, but only try and mainly use them, either use one or the other. And I wanted to get this set because it has a bunch of different colors, and that's one of the things that I was running into, trying to find colors that match or get pretty close to the colors I'm wanting for my drawings. Because with the Prismacolor, I only had a few colored pencils. So now I have a wide range of different colors to choose from, and I still have to do a little bit of adjusting, but at least I like having the colored pencils that are pretty close to the color I'm already wanting. That way I don't have to do a lot of extra work to get it to match the color that I'm wanting. So most of these will get me probably 80% of the way there as far as the color I'm wanting. And I have to do other shades and stuff anyway with darker colors and all that. But that's why I really wanted these. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't tested any of these out. I just opened them here with you, but that's why I tested, bought the single colored pencils and then bought the other packs, because I figured, test those out before I did buy this big purchase. And this is something, once again, that is a big investment. And I would definitely encourage you to try at least one Prismacolor colored pencil, or just a small set. But you don't have to. You can use the cheap Crayola ones, or even like the Walmart brand ones. But if you, I think the biggest thing is if those aren't helping you create what you're wanting to create, or you get sick of those ones, once again, you can get these, but they are pretty expensive. And the thing with these is I did buy this big pack, but this is something that I probably won't do for a long time. I might get another set of these. I might fill in a few that are ones that I use a lot, like peach or some grays or something like that. But as far as buy a whole nother set like this, I probably won't do that again for quite a while, until most of these are gone. But I just wanted to do it now, so I at least have a good base for a wide range of colors that I can use. But yeah, definitely $100 is something you definitely have to know that you're going to use. I wouldn't have bought these if I didn't know that, I do drawings like almost constantly with colored pencils, and colored pencils are my favorite medium to use. So that is why I have invested in these. And yeah, I don't know that if it depends on how much you want to invest in it, because if you're just doing it for fun and you don't want to really invest a whole lot, I would just do some cheap colored pencils or some Crayola ones. Those are pretty cheap as well, and those work pretty good. A lot of my drawings on my channel, probably at least the first half of them or so, are all Crayola colored pencils. So you can do some good artwork with them. You don't have to have these, but these, once you start doing it for a while, you can start to tell the differences and the little subtleties that these do help you with, like blending and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things for me, like I already mentioned, is when you sharpen it and the tip breaks or the core breaks or whatever on the Crayola ones, these just make it so much easier. It's another thing that's good about these. And I'm sure there's more professional or better colored pencils than these that are more expensive, but I feel like Prismacolor is right in that range of good colored pencils without being too overly expensive. They are expensive, don't get me wrong, but compared to some of these are insanely expensive when you go look at how much they are. So I feel like these are like a good balance between a pretty heavy investment, but also something that you might be able to manage. So it's really up to you. Once again, I'll leave some links to this set in the comments or in the description. So if you decide to pick this up, you can click on those. Once again, I got this one on dickblick.com. They're pretty good price on that website. On Amazon, if they're on sale, you can get this for around 110 or so, 115. But I think your cheapest bet, I would imagine, would be on dickblick.com. A lot of school teachers use that website as well. I feel like they're probably the best priced. So I'll leave links to Amazon and DickBlick, so whichever one you would prefer. I'll also leave links to the smaller tins. So like this one here, the 36 count one, it's got a pretty good mix. This I feel like is a good starter pack because it does have a little bit of your basic colors, but a little bit of the other colors as well, like as green, but light green as well. Has your peach colors and a pretty good mix of different colors. So and I'll also leave a link to this one as well, just the 12 pack there, your basic colors. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any favorite colored pencils or anything like that, what you thought of this set. It's sort of hard to tell, you know. I mean, I like the presentation of it. It looks really, really cool. But until I test them out, which granted they're probably going to be pretty much the same as the other ones, but once I actually use a variety of different colors on different drawings for a while, it will be hard to tell if this is really worth the investment or not. I mean, I feel like it is. Just because of how good the other colored pencils are, and yeah, so we'll see. But let me know what you guys thought of this set, and if you guys use Prismacolor colored pencils, if you use some other colored pencils, what's your favorite? Yeah, so, and there's also other ways of blending colored pencils, so if you're using cheaper ones, you can have other ways of doing that without having to have super expensive colored pencils. They have blending pencils specifically that you can use. There's other things you can use, like a white colored pencil. And I've heard alcohol can sort of help blend, but I haven't ever tried it, so I don't know for sure. I'm sure there's some other videos on that. But yeah, so that is the 150 count Prismacolor colored pencil set. It is pretty cool. As far as the presentation, looks good. I like that it actually has a magnet right here. I forgot to show you this, but on the front lid, when you hit it down, it clicks and it's magnetic. So that way, well, that way it stays together a little bit better. It doesn't come open, but it doesn't stay that well. But it's pretty cool. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Check out some of my colored pencil drawings on the channel if you haven't already, and have a great day.